Here is a quick tutorial on how to run Identity Finder on a Windows machine. Identity Finder is a program that scans your computer for sensitive personal information, also called SPI. TCU currently uses this application to ensure that Social Security and credit card numbers are not being stored on your computer. Let's begin by double-clicking on the Identity Finder icon on your desktop. If the icon is not there, go to the Start menu and type Identity into the search bar, and then click on the application that comes up. If the application is not installed on your computer, please contact the IT Support Help Desk for assistance. Now you'll be presented with the opportunity to create an account password so you can securely save the scans that run on your machine. Create a password that you'll remember and click Next. Once you have clicked Next, you will be prompted again and you can click the OK button. Now you will be prompted to do a scan of your machine. Click on the Open Advanced Interface button and then click Yes. Now that the application is open, let me show you how to identify where the application is scanning. Click on the Locations tab and then click on the arrow next to Files. Make sure that Enable File Search is checked, which will set the application to search all of the files on your machine. By default, this will scan your entire hard drive and will also look at compressed files. Keep in mind that you can set Identity Finder to do custom scans from this menu, so you can search just specific parts of your computer instead of the entire thing. You can also check what types of files are being scanned by clicking on the Identities tab. Keep in mind that we have set all scans to include Social Security numbers and credit card numbers by default, so they are grayed out and cannot be removed from a scan. In order to add a type of file to this scan, just click on the icon to highlight it. Let's get started by going back to the Main tab and starting a search by then clicking on the green arrow. Most scans will take anywhere between 20 to 25 minutes to complete, but may take longer based on the amount of data on your computer. Keep in mind that you can still continue to do other things on your machine while the scan is running in the background. Once the scan is finished, you will see a report window showing the Identity Finder search summary, and you will be presented with the following options. The Wizard and Advanced buttons will give you the ability to clean up your computer. Save As gives you the ability to save the report and come back and address it at a future time. Reminder gives you the option to set a time that will remind you to come back and complete the cleanup process. Let's get started by clicking the Advanced button and get a list of suspected SPI on the machine. You will see that each item will identify the location on where the file is stored and what type of secure personal information is found in that particular file. In this case, I have multiple pieces of information found in this specific PDF. You'll need to go through each item and either shred, scrub, or ignore the information. Shredding completely destroys the specific file and all of the data associated with it. Shredding is great when you no longer need any of the data on that file. Remember that files that are shredded cannot be recovered. In contrast, scrubbing will only modify the file by replacing the SPI with X's instead of deleting everything. You can scrub most files on your computer with the exception of Outlook and a handful of other items that cannot be edited. Ignore is used when false positives are found or when information is something that needs to be stored on your computer and does not put the university at risk. Choosing Ignore prevents the item from showing up on future scans, but this should never be used for Social Security and credit card numbers. The first example that we have is a PDF of some documentation that contains some random numbers that triggered Identity Finder and should be considered false positives in this case. What I will do is check the box and then click the Ignore button. Now I'll be prompted for a reason and why I need to ignore this file. This information will be used when we do future background scans of your machine, so make sure that you mark them appropriately. In the second example, we found a fake Social Security number that I put for this particular example or demo, and I'm going to shred this information because I do not need to keep it on my machine. At this point, I'll check the box next to the file and then click the Shred button. I'll be prompted a second time to ensure that I really do want to remove the file, and I'll click Yes. Now I'll be prompted again to let me know that the file was successfully shredded. As you can tell, all of the files have now been removed, or at least all of the SPI has now been removed from my device, and I have a clean slate under the file listing. Now, let's go set up a basic schedule so I can ensure that I never get SPI on my machine again. Click on Configuration, and under Scheduling, click the arrow and then select Enable Scheduling. Now, check the box next to Schedule a Search, and then click the Configure button. Now I'm going to configure a monthly scan that takes place at 11 a.m. on the first Monday of every month. Once I've completed this process, I press OK, and then I click Apply. Now we'll be asked for my TCU Windows username and password. This is the same username and password that you use to log into the computer. Once I press the OK button, I press Yes on the next dialog button that comes up, and a scheduling service will be added to my computer on the first Monday of every month at 11 a.m. to run a scan and warn me if SPI has been found on the computer. We hope that this tutorial was very beneficial, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact the IT Support Help Desk.